Oh, okay. Crestdale Middle School.
What's your favorite subject?
Math.
And what's your least favorite subject?
School.
Nice, okay.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are so very close to beginning. All right, Shabbat Shalom. We begin singing together words from Psalm 150. Hallelujah. Let everything that has breath in it offer words of praise. There we go. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama ti hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama ti hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, I see some of us have woken up and some of us are still waking up. We shall try again. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
More are awake. My name is Dusty Kloss. I'm one of the rabbis here at Temple Bethel. This is Cantor Thomas. And you may recognize these two to my left, your right. I have to do that every single time. Bridget and Lucas will be leading the majority of our service this morning. A few notes before we begin. You'll notice already that most of the prayers will be projected on the screens to either side of the ark, and you are welcome to join in at any point in time. And we've got the Hebrew, and we've got the transliteration, and we've got the English, and Bridget and Lucas have prepared to lead us all in prayer, and sometimes that means that they'll say words, they'll pray words, they'll offer words, and it is our job to join them in part of those words. That's part of their role today, is to help you know when to stand and when to sit. You'll notice those moments, and when to join in and when to listen and when to learn with and from them. And so we begin. I'll invite Lucas and Bridget to join us on the bima, and we all rise.
Baruch et Adonai Hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Va'ed.
Love your Love your neighbor as yourself, you said. And like blinded we saw that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. We spoke and we wrote. We reached for you down the centuries, your light moving before us. As we climbed, fell back, and climbed again, your Sinai of life.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvkol nafshecha uvkol meotecha vehayu hadbarim ha'ele asher Elohim mitzavecha hayom al levavecha veshinantam levanecha vedibarta bam beshivtecha bevetecha uvlaktecha vadevre ukshokvecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot aliadecha vehayu letatarfot vein einecha uktarta al mezuzot beitecha uvishabrecha leman tiskeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohehem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etem Mitzrayim leot lahem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. We continue on page 239. Emet, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. Emet, that pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame. Steer the soul's passion, guide our sacred way. True and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established, now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing out and rejoice. Mi hamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi hamocha nehedar b'kodesh, noah tehilot hosei felech. Adonai imlok leolam va'ed.
Sur Yisrael kuma bezrat Yisrael ufetechinu mecha Yehuda v'Yisrael go'aleinu Adonai tzevot shemo kedosh Yisrael
Baruch atah Adonai, Gael Yisrael.
Adonai Sefer Tivta Ufi Yagi Tehilateha.
Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu V'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rahel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanorah El Elyon Gomel Hasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol Vezoher Hasdei Arlot Vehimaot Umlikvi Geula V'nei V'neihem Le'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Vozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch atah Adonai Nagel Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechaye Hakol Atah Rav Leoshia Meshiv Harua Umorid Hagashem Mechokel Hayim Bechesed Mechaye Hakol Berahamim Ravim Somech Nofelim Verofecholim Umatir Asurim Umekaye Elunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Baal Gevurot Uvidomela Melech Memitz Umechaye Umatzmiya Yeshua Ve'nehmanata Le'ahaseyot Hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye Hakol.
Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, keshem shemakdishim oto bishmei marom, kakatuv al yad neviecha, v'kara ze el ze v'amar.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tsevaot, Meloch haaretz, Kevodo.
Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Madir Shimcha, Bechol haaretz.
Baruch Kevod Adonai, Mimkomo.
Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu, vehu Yashmienu, berachamav le'enei kol chai.
Ani Adonai Eloheihem, Yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Yitzion, Ledor Vador, Hallelujah.
Ledor vador nagid god lecha, ulnetzach netzachim kiddushatcha nagdish, v'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush, leolam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
To all generations we declare your greatness, and for all eternity we proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God.
So in a
Please
moment,
be seated.
so sorry. The most important part. In a moment, we will continue with a prayer we call Yismechu, and we like to, Cantor Thomas likes to draw smiley faces on this prayer to remind our Bar and Bat Mitzvah students to smile, particularly as we get to this prayer, because it is a prayer about delighting and rejoicing in Shabbat. And one of my favorite parts about this service so far is that these two actually don't need very many reminders. I've watched them smile in the middle of prayers already, and so I think we're already pretty close to this joy that we need. But you are all welcome to also smile and rejoice and clap along as we sing together.
Here we go.
Yismehu v'malen huteha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat Yismehu v'malen huteha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat
Mekadeshei, Mekadeshei Shavi'i
Shabbat
Kulam Yisvehu V'Tangu Mituvecha
Shabbat Yismehu v'malen huteha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat Yismehu v'malen huteha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat
V'hashvi'i Ratzita bo v'kirasho
Shabbat
Chemdat Yamim Oto Karata
Shabbat Yismehu v'malen hutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat Yismehu v'malen hutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat
Zecher L'maaseh v'reishit
Shabbat
Zecher L'maaseh v'reishit
Shabbat Yismehu v'malen hutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat Yismehu v'malen hutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat
Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
We now take time for silent prayer.
in a moment, we will take Torahs out of this ark that is behind us, and we will place them into Bridget and Lucas's arms, and they will hold them briefly, but solidly and strongly. And then they will teach us a few words of Torah, and then they will chant from the Torah scroll. They've spent a long time preparing to chant just these few verses in a whole different language without any of the cheat marks that we usually get when we read Hebrew. It's a very special task, and it's really hard. And sometimes 12 and 13-year-olds preparing for their B'nai Mitzvah ask, but why do we have to do this very hard thing? And the answer is that the text of this Torah, the text of this scroll, includes within it the origin stories of our people. The Torah gives us all of the history, mythology, ancestors. It gives us all of the beginning pieces of what it took to get from the beginning to here. And in between that Torah, that big T Torah, and this moment in time, there are many other little T Torahs, we like to call them, the stories that are inside each of us, the experiences that shaped us, and then that we pass on to the next generation. So between Zero and Bridget, and between Zero and Lucas, there are thousands, hundreds and thousands of generations of human beings that existed, that lived their lives in order to arrive at this moment. And so during the pandemic, when we couldn't pass down an actual physical Torah through the generations, we began a new tradition, and it was so lovely that we have carried on this tradition of inviting generations, people whose stories have helped shape these two folks, to offer some words of their own Torah to pass on to Lucas and Bridget. And so I'm going to invite a number of people to join us on the bima to begin passing down Torah to Lucas. So Lucas, I'm going to have you stand right where I am, and I'm going to invite a number of people to move to the bima so that you're ready, and then I'm going to go to you, Ed. So Ed will begin us. I will go to him. And then Deborah Weiss, Jerry Lazaroff, Beatrice Lazaroff, Aaron Weiss, Rachel Handis, Justin Lazaroff, Jordan Lazaroff, and Jennifer and Barry Paul. I'm going to invite you to stand up now and head over to this side of the bima. And I'm going to move down to where Ed is. I'm coming to you.
Lucas, we have seen you grow substantially to the point where you are today, and we are very proud of those circumstances, to watch you grow and to continue to grow and be successful as you will be if you continue the way you are.
Amen. And from Ed, we pass the Torah to Deborah Weiss.
I hope that you will continue all the family traditions of being together for the holidays and sharing all the joys of our family.
Amen. From Deborah, we pass the Torah to Jerry Lazaroff.
Okay, when I pass the Torah to you today, I pass our love to you, and are and how proud we are of your day.
Amen. From Jerry, we pass the Torah to Beatrice.
Lucas, we're so proud of you. You've grown up to be such a handsome, wonderful young man and just done us all proud. And we're so grateful for you and our family and health and peace and just being together. Have a great day.
Amen. From Beatrice to Aaron.
Lucas, just want to say to always remember the importance of family and how important family is in everything that you do. So, I know. We're proud of you.
Amen. From Aaron, we pass the Torah to Rachel.
Lucas, so happy to be here, and kind of just to ditto on what my brother said, just continue your love of family, cousinship, and family traditions and love, and that amazing smile that brightens up every room. So, mazel tov.
Amen. From Rachel, we pass the Torah to Justin.
Lucas, as we pass this Torah to you, we share our love of the mitzvah, both in the sense of the bar mitzvah, you being here on the bima today, as well as the mitzvah in the sense of doing good for others. We're very proud of you. Mazel tov.
Yeah, we got a fist bump. From Justin, we pass the Torah to Jordan.
To pass this Torah to you, enjoy spending the holidays with my family, and I'm proud of you.
Amen. And from Jordan, we'll pass the Torah to Jennifer and Barry.
And Becca.
As I pass this Torah on to you, Lucas, I spread my joy of doing mitzvahs, volunteerism, and helping those in need.
Lucas, as I pass this Torah on to you, I share the Jewish love of helping others, of dedication, of hard work, and sharing our knowledge with our future generations.
Amen. And in a moment, the Torah will pass all the way to you, Lucas. But before that, we've got to pass Torah to Bridget as well. So Bridget, come and stand where Lucas was. I'm going to invite all of you to take a seat. And we are going to invite the following members of Bridget's Torah to begin. So we'll invite Elliot Buchholz, Lonnie Buchholz, Rob Carlson, Terry Carlson, Barbara Buchholz, Bob Buchholz, Braden Henry, and Rachel and Randy Henry. And Elliot, you can head right up to the microphone to start us off.
Bridget, as I pass this Torah to you, I want to say it's an honor to be here as part of the Buchholz family and to see you go on these traditions, and it's really great to see you do this.
Amen. From Elliot, we pass the Torah to Lonnie.
I pass this Torah on to you. Not only you have family that love you here, your grandfather's brother, my brother and my father, wish you very proud. Wish you a great day.
Amen. From Lonnie, we pass the Torah to Rob. And Terry, together.
Bridget, today we pass the Torah down to you. We pass the responsibility of knowledge, commitment, strength, and love. Love you, Lord.
Amen. And from Rob and Terry, we pass the Torah to Barbara and Bob, together.
Bridget, as we pass this Torah to you, we are blessed grandparents of 4 terrific grandchildren. Today is Bridget's day, going from a child to an adult as part of our Jewish traditions. We couldn't be prouder of Bridget's many accomplishments, or ready with the expectations of more as she enters adulthood. It gives me great pleasure to participate in her bar mitzvah as she continues her Jewish education and participates in the Jewish traditions They're so important entering into adulthood. Mazel tov.
Amen. And give her a hug if you want. Yeah. And from Barbara and Bob, we'll pass the Torah to Braden, Rachel, and Randy.
Bridget, as we pass this Torah to you today, I pass along the virtue of patience and our family tradition of our Jewish ancestry.
I'm passing down my love of math.
I want to pass down caring for others.
We're so
Amen.
proud of you.
Yay. And from there, we pass the Torah down, the physical Torah down to Lucas and Bridget. So I'm going to invite everyone here to rise.
My Torah portion is the Tazria, and is in the book of Leviticus, which takes place before the Israelites got to Israel, while they were roaming through the desert. My Torah portion is about God, Moses, and woman. My speech is about the rules of impurity after childbirth. It states that in the situation of a childbirth, mothers have important restrictions for the number of days before they are considered pure again. These restrictions are in place to keep blood away from the Eternal One. They include certain laws that limit the time mothers spend away. In the state of childbirth, one stays impure for a certain amount of time, 33 days for a boy and 66 for a girl. Many would say this is torture because it prevents women from visiting God. Others see this as a time of rest, because it gives women a chance to recover, to take a break from normal activities. The birth of a new person is a beautiful cause for celebration, but healing is part of the celebration as well. I like my portion because it is a subject under the radar, for good reason. The people of this time seem to be afraid of blood. I think this is because, as it is still today, blood is considered gross and something one must stay away from. This Torah portion teaches us how to connect with God in times of both stress and happiness. I think my Torah portion is important because it brings ritual into moments lacking it. Ritual allows us to bring culture into our everyday lives, and that helps us express our differences and reminds us of what makes us special. My portion is also important because it helps bring God to those in need. When people are going through hardships, God has their back, and connecting with God can provide relief. With me becoming a bar mitzvah, I need to figure out my own ways to connect to God. I think this will be most important when I need to lift my spirits. I can take away from this portion that one can connect from the eternal one in many ways. I suspect this will be important to me as I take on this new role of becoming a bar mitzvah. I will need to connect to God in my own special way to have an impact on Jewish and everyday society. Thank you.
For the first Aliyah, we are going to invite Bryant Paul and Melissa Wadham to join us on the bima.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe Lemor, Daber el Bnei Yisrael Lemor, Isha ki tazriya, ve'yalda zachar, v'tamah Shiva Kiamiv Kinmei Midat Devota Titma Uvayom Hashmini Yimor Besar Orlato
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach. You can give a little congratulations to Lucas on maybe a mutual congratulations on your way across the bima, and then we'll invite you to stay up here. And we invite Barry Paul and Marjorie Paul for the second Aliyah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ushaloshim yom, ushaloshet yamim, teshev bidmei Torah, bechol kodesh lo tiga, vel hamikdash lo tavo, ad melot yemei Torah, vim nekeva teled, vitama shevu ayim kinidata, vishishim yom, vishet yamim, teshev oldemei tahora.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yeah, Yasher Koach, some congratulations along the way.
All right, Lucas, and now we call you to the Torah as a bar mitzvah. Ya'amud Levin ben Baruch to Jennifer, ha-bar mitzvah la'aliyah la'Torah.
Baruch et Adonai hamavarach.
Baruch Adonai hamarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Elohim. Baruch Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher baha banu mikol ha'amim. V'nata lanu Torato. Baruch atah Adonai Note haTorah.
Amen.
V'hekeru lifnei Adonai v'per aleha v'tohara v'imkod norameha zotorat. Halel ledet lazehar olanekeva imluz vimsa yadavas ser lirakatat vim torim oshene bine yonah Echad leila v'echad hotat v'per aleha v'hakohen v'tahera. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam betoheinu. Baruch atah Adonai notei haTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach Lucas. All right, Lucas knows where he's going. He's going to take a seat. And all of you can take a seat as well for the moment. We'll invite Bridget to join us on the bima.
The Torah portion I'm going to chant is called Tazriyah, which is about skin diseases and ancient medicine and rituals that the Jewish community used. It's in the book of Leviticus, and I am chanting verses 13:1 to 13:7. My Torah portion takes place in the center of the Israelite camp, and the people in the Torah portion are the Eternal One, Moses, and Aaron the priest. In my section of the Torah portion, the Eternal One speaks to Moses and Aaron about what happens when someone has a skin infection. The priest examines the infection to determine if the person is impure. If the infection is deeper than the person's skin tone, they would be pronounced as impure. If the infection does not appear to be deeper than the person's skin tone, then they would be isolated for 7 days to help keep the infection from spreading to other people. On the 7th day, if there's no change to the infection, the isolation continues for another 7 days. Finally, the priest will examine the infection one more time. If it has faded, the person is now pronounced pure, after they've washed their clothes. However, if the infection spreads, then they are still impure. Our tradition teaches us the importance of seeking guidance when we are not feeling well. It also teaches us to learn the prayer for healing, care for those who are ill, and help provide healing. Furthermore, it teaches us to take care of our own bodies and to help provide and advocate for health care for all. I feel that my Torah portion is important because it shows you what you have to do when you're not feeling well. I can connect my Torah portion to my present-day life because I have experienced breaking out in hives since I was little. It doesn't feel good and it can be scary, but I know what to do. I take medicine and sometimes go to the doctor if it doesn't get better quickly enough, which is just like the Israelites who went to the priest to check in when they had infections. One part I like from my Torah portion is that a person with an infection must report to Aaron the priest instead of keeping it a secret. I like this part because when we tell people when we aren't feeling well, they can help us feel better. But when we don't, we just continue to feel bad. I also like that the services of the priest and the cost of the offerings had to be affordable for everyone. Because when people feel bad, they shouldn't have to pay a high amount of money to get treated and feel better. Lastly, I like the part when the priest pronounces someone as pure, because it allows the whole community to celebrate one's pureness. Lastly, I noticed my Torah portion that they didn't explain what happens to someone who stays impure, and it made me wonder what happened to them. Now that I know what our tradition teaches, and I've thought about it, I think the answer to my question is they would stay in isolation and ask the priest to help them. Now that I'm a bat mitzvah, I can remember and use the meaning of my Torah portion by encouraging others to seek help when they're not feeling well.
For the fourth Aliyah, we invite Bob and Barbara Buchholz to join us on the bima.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torto. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe ve'el Aharon lemor Adam ki hi'eid ve'or besaro seit o sapachat o vaheret ve'chaya ve'or besaro lenegad sarat ve'huva Elaharon HaKohen, O Elahad Mebanav HaKohanim, Virah HaKohen, Et Hanega Beor Habasar, Vese'ar Banega Hafach Lavan, Umared Hanega Amok me'or besaro negat sarat hu vera hakohen betimeoto.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam.
Amen. Yasher Koach. Yasher Koach to this one. You can give her a hug if you want on your way across the bima to the other side. And for the fifth Aliyah, we'll call Brandy and Rachel Henry to the bima.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Ve'im bacheret levana hi be'or besaro ve'amok ein mare min ha'or ve'se'ara lo hafach lavan ve'hiskir hakohen et hanega shiviat yamim ve'rahu hakohen bayom hashvehi ve'hined hanega amad be'enav lo fasah hanega ba'or ve'hiskir hakohen shiviat yamim shenit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tokenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yasher Koach. You can move. Yeah. All sorts of hugging.
All right, Bridget, and for the last aliyah today, we call you as a bat mitzvah to the Torah. Ta'amod Adira bat Rachel v'Randy habat mitzvah la aliyah la Torah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamavora. Baruch Adonai Hamavora le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamavora le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vera hakohen oto bayom hashvei shenit vehine kechad hanega velo fasa hanega baor vetiharo hakohen mispachat hi vehi bes begado vetaher. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natan botenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
So there's something very special and very particular about this Torah portion, as you learned in the teaching that you received. This is a Torah portion that in the past in some synagogues they've actually skipped when it's a b'nai mitzvah. They don't have b'nai mitzvah look at this Torah portion because again, as you heard, you get to hear about childbirth and all sorts of strange skin diseases.
And in fact, there's actually 2 Torah portions like this in a row, and some years they're combined, so we only do one Shabbat like this, but in fact this year they're not, so we'll be returning to leprosy next week.
Indeed we will. And what I think is remarkable is that both Lucas and Bridget really took this Torah portion in stride and said, okay, so what can we in fact learn from this Torah portion? And they really owned it, and it was beautiful to hear them do that very, very well. So we come to a moment in our service and we offer this blessing with the Torah in our midst.
And on the wall, we'll project the name of the people that we are aware of in our community who are in need of healing, whether that is of mind, body, or spirit. And if you have additional names of people who you are thinking of for healing on this Shabbat, we invite you to share their names now. Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim. Mi sheberach avotenu mekor haberacha bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor haberacha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. While this is not what our plan was, and perhaps a bit not elegant, folks upstairs, are you able to project the names for healing while we put the Torah away? No? Thank you all for your patience. Nope. Maybe not.
Sometimes technology thwarts us.
Indeed. All right, we are going to work on putting the Torah away. If you, in fact, do, in the next few moments, see some names of people who are in need of healing, take a moment to consider these individuals, even if you don't know them personally. Please rise as we return the Torah to the ark.
People of gratitude, I am here today because of you, because you believed in me, because you put a piece of your heart into mine. Thank you to all the cantors, rabbis, teacher, and madrahim who led me, and madrahai, if I said that right, who led me on this journey. Bridget, thank you for sharing the spotlight. You deserve it just as much as me, if not more. Mazel tov. Grandma, thank you for those endless calls that always make my day. Mom and Papa, thank you for your plentiful excitement for my big day. I would also like to acknowledge my grandpa, who died around this time in 2018. I know he is smiling gratefully with his beautiful, contagious grin up in heaven. And, of course, Becca. Thank you for being the best sister I could have ever asked for. Your optimism always shines bright. Mom, thank you for your limitless support and your belief in me. Your love for me is beyond description, and I feel honored to have you as my mom. Dad, thank you for helping me stay on track and for spending so many hours at work so we can afford what we can. You're an amazing dad. And with that, Mom, Dad, please come to the bima.
Lucas, may songs of praise ever be upon you.
May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be of worlds still to come. And may you trust in generations past and yet to be. May your heart be filled with intuition, and your words be filled with insight.
May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue, and your vision be on a straight path before you. May your eyes shine with the light of holy words, and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom, and your fulfillment be in righteousness, even as you ever yearn to hear the words of the Holy One of blessing.
I would first like to say thanks to my madrihim, tutors, teachers, and the clergy. Lucas, I appreciate having someone else to share the bima with me. Mazel tov to you and your family. To all of my friends, thank you for dealing with me and coming here today to celebrate. If I'm not in a good mood, you guys make me laugh and make me happier. Thanks to my school friends who've learned more about my religion at school for making me excited to actually go to school. Thanks also to my dance friends. Even when I have a bad day at school, at the end of the day, you bring me joy and uplift my mood. Next, I would like to say thank you to my Gammy and Grandpa. I absolutely love coming to see you guys and visit Florida. You make every visit the best. Even though I'm the only girl grandchild, I love spending time with you too. To my aunt, uncle, and cousins who came all the way from Connecticut. Auntie Terry, you have such a good humor and the best hugs. Even though you like the color orange and the Harry Potter movies, I love you. Uncle Rob, even though I don't see you as much, you will always be my favorite bald uncle. Now Jacob and Riley, even though we annoy each other sometimes, I miss playing with you guys as a child. All in all, I really want to thank my mom's side of the family. You brought Judaism into my life, and I wouldn't be here today without you. I love you guys so much. Now I would like to say thank you to my dad's side of the family. Nana and Papa, I love baking cookies and doing slip-and-slides at your house. I'm always excited to see you guys after school. You are so caring and genuinely nice people. I love you guys so much. Next, I want to say thank you to Cha-Cha and Krista. I love playing on the trampoline with you guys and playing our special mean teacher game. Even though this is a new experience for you, I'm glad you could be here. I also want to thank the rest of my cousins and aunts and uncles who are so special and fun to be around. You really make my visits fun. Thank you for supporting me. I love you all so much. Brayden, even though we can both annoy each other sometimes, you bring me so much joy and bring out the crazy side of me. I love helping you with things, and I can't wait till you become a Jewish adult in 2 years. My parents are my biggest supporters, and I love them so much. Mom, thank you for introducing me to Judaism and helping and encouraging me along the way. No matter how hectic it got, even though we had a hard schedule, you made everything work. I appreciate how hard you work to make other people happy. Dad, even though you aren't Jewish, you still celebrate the traditions with us and help me through tough times. You've introduced me to great new music and movies. I like learning about what you were like when you were younger and how similar we were. Mom and Dad, I love you very much. Please join me on the bima.
Brandy and I would like to thank each and every one of you for joining us on this very special day. Many of you have traveled near and far to celebrate this milestone with us, and it warms our hearts to the fullest extent. Thank you to Rabbi Class, Cantor Thomas, and the rest of the clergy staff for helping Bridget prepare for this moment. Our schedule of activities never ceases, and you have calmed the waves during this process. Mazel tov to Lucas and his family. You have worked just as hard, and it's an honor to be sharing this special day with you. Bridget, you can breathe now. You did it, and of course, I was right. You did amazing, and I'm standing here in tears. Today is a performance like none other. There's no stage makeup, costume to put on, or a dance routine to learn. You have spoken from the heart, strengthened your connection with your Jewish heritage, and continue to triumph in the game that we call life. I will never forget the words of my grandfather, your great-grandfather. Be proud of who you are and embrace Judaism. You and I carry a special bond now, each having experienced being a B'nai Mitzvah. You are ready for the world, and the world is ready for the footprints you're going to make.
Hey, Bridget, may your eyes shine with the light of the Torah, and your face be radiant as the brightness of the sky. May your lips speak words of wisdom, and may the world you live in be the world of your dreams. May you see your world and created in your lifetime. May you see your visions come true. May your hopes touch every generation to come. These are the prayers we have for you. May you be blessed with understanding, with wisdom and compassion in your heart. May your tongue be filled with song, and your lips sing out for justice. These are the prayers that we have for you. And words cannot express how proud we are of you. It's time to stretch your wings and fly. And contrary to what you may believe sometimes, we love you very much.
Right, everybody to rise. Let's see what happens. All right.
All right. Bridget and Lucas, you are standing in front of the Ark, looking in at 4 of the beautiful Torah scrolls that our congregation is privileged to have, surrounded by your parents. And just beyond them, there's me and Rabbi Class, and further still, just a smattering of the most special and important people in your lives. Your family, your friends, the people who are joining you over live stream from far away. And I cannot begin to describe the privilege that it has been to be led by both of you today. I will say that I personally probably cry at 1/3 of the B'nai Mitzvah, and I don't actually know in the morning if it's going to be a day when I cry or not, but in fact it is. And I think that you both were able to be present as who you are as individuals through your preparations, with your own gifts and your own challenges, but with such an openness and a desire to reach this day prepared as who you are, and let who you are shine out for all of us to be led so beautifully in prayer and taught so thoroughly about the words of Torah that we heard today. So, Lucas and Bridget, it's our privilege as this community of loving supporters that you have to offer you words of blessing found in the heart of Torah. This is the threefold blessing, which means it comes in 3 parts, and you all at the congregation have a part to play. So we're going to practice your part. Repeat after me, please. Kain, Yehi, Ratzon. And we're going to put them together. Kain, Yehi, Ratzon. Which means, may this be God's will. I'll offer the blessing first in Hebrew. Rabbi Klaas will offer the blessing in English. And then after the English, each time, 3 times, you'll affirm, Kain Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Kain Yehi Ratzon. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God shine upon you and may you feel God's radiance.
Kain Yehi Ratzon. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God be with you always. May you find the way that you most connect to God. And may God grant you the greatest gift of all, the blessing of shalom, of peace.
Kain Yehi Ratzon. And together we all say,
Amen.
Amen. We continue with the words of Aleinu L'Shabeach projected on the wall. Aleinu L'Shabeach La'adon HaKol La'teit Gedula L'Yotzer Bereshit Shelo Asanu Kegoye Ha'aratzot Velo Samanu Kemishbechot Ha'adama Shelo Samchelkenu Kahem Vigor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam Va'anachnu Koreim Umishachavim Umodim Lifnei Melech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'ne'emar V'haya Adonai Lemelech Al Kol Haaretz Bayom Hahu Yeh Adonai Echad U'shemo Echad.
You got it. 2 hands. Yeah. There we go. There we go. All right. And you can all take a seat. Yeah. Okay. You may take a seat as well. Yeah. We take a moment in our service to honor and remember and to speak aloud the names of those who have died at this time and in years past. And in saying their names aloud, we bring their little Torahs into our world, all of their memories and all of the stories we have shared with them. And so I will offer names, both of those we are remembering in our community today and also those that the Paul and Henry families are also remembering. And as I call these names, if you are here honoring or remembering anyone in particular, I invite you to rise. We mourn the recent passing of Gary Waller and Jerry Bernstein, whose funerals will be in the coming days. We are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Joshua Emil Blyer, Robert Chamow, June Owen Perry Flick, Linda Garreau, Mona A. Lieberman, Ann McDonald, Lloyd E. Merkelson, Joel Sheldon Rudick, Thomas Ryan, and Max Shore. And we honor on their yard site Henrietta Alter, Sam Anoff, William Ben Applebaum, Ethel Applebaum, Thomas Barrett, Janet Levin Block, Louis Borrow, Rinky Cardoza, Arthur Cardoza, Natalie Chesler, Jenny S. Cohen, Herbert Seymour Cohen, Elaine Selma Kojak, Maggie Cook, Mildred Deitch, Albert Edelstein, Bernard Eisner, Kalman Förster, Harold Furstein, Max Flor, Al Freiberg, Devorah Friedman, Lillian Finnell Freeman, Harry Friedberg, Andrew Nove Gartner, Arthur Gaines, Joseph Geller, Sadie Leah Gerber, Giselle S. Goldstein, Kaya Golinsky, Herman Greenblatt, Marie Gross, Robert Herman, Harry Jackaway, Harris Kahn, Ruth Lakin, Mortimer Levitt, Kalman Levine, Raoul Lewin, Max Mass, Helen Mayer, William McGuire, Donald Mallins, Gertrude Book Mandelbaum, Gregory Margolis, Edith Martin, Michelle Miller, Sylvia Nalaboff, Alberto Niego Leon, Ann Knorr, Bonnie Pearl, Rivi Pfeffer, Anna Pointer, Stanley Resnick, Morris Resnikoff, Harry Rosenthal, Gertrude K. Salvin, Francis Schuler, Jacob Schwartzber, Bertha Seaman, Leo Shane, William Julian Sheehan, Louis S. Buddy Simon, Calvin Singer, Israel Smith, Jean Smolin, Arnold Spatz, Bernice Stern, my apologies. The Henry family remembers in particular on this day Leon and Ruth Buchholz, Gary Buchholz, Bernard Buchholz, Pauline and Nathan Steinman, Edith and Dave Meisel, Arlene Meisel, and Edward and Anne Bastek. And the Paul family remembers Theodore Lazaroff, Reba Lazaroff, Edward Weiss, Ben Paul, Florence Paul, Myrna Baum, James Edward Grimes, Arthur Badger, Catherine Palmer, Edward Palmer Sr., Edward Palmer Jr., Margaret Grimes, James Leo Grimes, Mary Fairchild, and Paul Fairchild. We rise together as one congregation for the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach cherute v'amlich malchute, B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei kudusha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen.
We remain standing and invite the Paul and Henry families to join us back on the bima one more time. You get a treat this time. Yeah. All right. Lucas, I'm going to give you this Kiddush cup. And Bridget, you get one too. Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. Here we go. All right.
All right, we conclude with words of Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. It is grape juice. It's grape juice. He checked. Even if it was, it would be okay.
It would be okay.
I gotcha.
Amotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon. Enjoy.
Yeah. So we say, I never know which one to do first.
I know, it's hard. I think Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, so first we say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And we say a big Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov.
Yay! And if anyone else would like some challah, you're welcome to come up and take a piece of challah as you congratulate these two lovely people.